everybody, welcome to Garrett's Games. My name's Doug.
My name's Shelley.
And we are a podcast and video series about board games. This time, we are talking about Kartini. From darkness to light. It is a game set in Indonesia at the late 19th and early 20th century. It is for 1 to 6 players, plays in 60 to 120 minutes, 12 plus on the box, and the designer's name is Sherria
Ayuandini.
Sorry, Sherria. I apologize for that. Sherria Ayuandini. This is from Ion Game Design, and when we were looking over the list for Essen 2025, this is one of those games that on theme alone I really wanted to check out because I think it was the most intriguing on theme, because the idea here is that in the 19th and early 20th century, Indonesia was fighting for self-rule and to get out from underneath being a colony of the Netherlands, the Dutch, and so they one of the main factors was the way in which young women were given the chance to get educated and then become part of the society that worked towards independence. Totally interesting thing, fascinating here, and it turns out a really cool European-style board game. So let's talk a little bit about Kartini from darkness to light. All right, so in Kartini, we have the islands here of Indonesia. We have a track that happens when we are graduating our various young women from the schools that we are running. You have an area where there are patrons, which Shell's going to talk about. You have events that come up depending upon this track that this little pawn is going to move along as you graduate. You have 6 different sets of cards that correspond, as you can see, young women from the various islands here, as well as the gold cards, which are named heroes of the Indonesian independence movement. Down here you have teachers whom you can hire, but ultimately you are going to be training, educating these young women to be politicians, fighters, warriors, patrons, or teachers.
Teachers of those specific
in those areas, exactly. Right. And as teachers ourselves, that was another reason that this was so intriguing.
For sure.
All right. So over the course of 3 rounds, you have set up milestones or goals that you are going to be trying to achieve to get points. And I should say this game can be played competitively or even cooperatively. In the cooperative game, you're getting rid of most of the scoring, and you're just trying as a group, or up to 6 players, to achieve those milestones that are the ones that are out at the beginning of the game. You can see that each of the islands has a stack of the specific color cards. We have the pupils, they spell them P-U-P-L-E-S,
Meeples.
Okay, pupils, all right, but they're pupils.
Mm-hmm.
Out here on the island, we each start with, in our color, so I'm orange here, a school out on the segment between 2 areas of an island. And you can see that certain 1 or 2 of the various colors of the meeples come in at particular spots in the areas. So we have 2 of our young women pupils in the schoolyard, and we start with the Kartini's letters. Now, according to what I've read in the rule book, Kartini was an important, influential woman who was sending letters to the Dutch government, to the aristocracy of the Dutch, to try to make them understand in a peaceful way why things needed to change. So we start the game with 2 cards from the Kartini's letter stack, and these give us a choice of starting stuff as well as an end game goal.
That we'll be working
so
on, right?
what have you got for yours?
I have one that would give me some books, and we're going to need specific books to educate our women. You can see on here that the books are needed here, and there's more needed for the special women down there. And so I could get a number of books. I get some money. I would also get some reputation.
Reputation, exactly.
And I would get
for the endowment, yes.
Yes, so I would get up here
so,
as well.
So the endowment would, of course, be your money that you get in rounds 2 and 3 at the start, and then
that's really important to bump those up because you're going to need the money for sure.
Exactly.
And then it says if I chose this one, I would need to graduate 2 pupils to make them into teachers, and then I would need 2 from politicians in 4 different colors. And you'll see I'm starting out with pink, but so I'm going to need to be getting ones from other colors. But thankfully, there are ways to get them over here, and you can put schools in other locations too to make that
exactly. So maybe I start here, and instead, and Shelley would be looking, and she is going to say, okay, well, she's starting in pink, and she knows that she needs red books. So she would probably, since she would definitely take a couple of red books, which she would put over here in her library.
Because I'm seeing that with my pink people, they could get these books up here.
Whereas mine here, my possibilities that I could take right now would be that I could get take them in blue or 2 different ones there. So maybe I take the blue because I want to do that. And since the first one in the line is free, otherwise you have to pay money to recruit that particular student to your area. Maybe I'm going to be a little bit different, and I'm going to take one of those, okay? And I get 3, so maybe I'll just take one of each and do that. I get $4, okay, and then I'm going to get only 1 reputation. So I'm starting low on rep, but I'm going to have a nice endowment there. And I also, of course, have those extra books than what Shelley said. So we take that. The other one is going to go away, and those are now out of the game, and we've got that set. We've already put our school out here, and now we are going to, in turn order, going back and forth, we are going to do the various actions, and we have a nice outline of the way this works here. Most of these actions are pretty quick.
Yes,
all right.
So.
The one that actually takes a bit of time, and you have the back side of the card to go through for each type of that, is graduation, because you want to make sure that you get all those steps. So the first thing that you could do is hire a teacher. Notice that the teachers are specific, of course, to their subject area. I should probably have this one over here so then it matches the way it is on our board. But you have, somebody who educates in politicians, fighters, and of course the patrons. All right. So if I did that, you can spend either a coin, or you can go down 1 in your endowment, and then you would take that teacher. These are going to come back to the piles at the end of the round. So therefore, it is something that you want to, if you can, educate one of your young women here so that they are a teacher and they stay as a teacher at your school.
Did yours need to have any that became...
Mine is graduate 3 politicians of different colors that are not your own starting color. Okay. So it's smaller. You've got...
Mine wants me to graduate 2 students to make teachers.
Right.
And then I'm focusing more on the politician track.
Right.
Here.
But one of them could be her pink color.
Yes, for sure.
So we can hire a teacher. We can recruit pupils, all right? You have to, however, have a meeple, okay, the recruiting pupils is getting the wooden meeples out here on your board. The way you can do that, exactly, is you have to have a school, and then you can take from either side of where the school is standing on a border area.
But you're going to have to take all of them from that region.
Exactly, yes.
And so there may be other colors there, and you'll have to take them all and put them in your school yard.
Very true. Registering students would mean that you're taking a student card, and you could do that before you have a teacher. So I could, for example, register this student, and with the question mark, it could be any particular one. And given that for our first goal here, milestone, each player scores 2 victory points for each of their graduated politicians, I'm definitely going to want to have a politician.
And I want to focus on politicians anyway. Exactly. I need 4 different ones, so that's really good.
Right.
Too.
As soon as I do that, one of the meeples, one of the wooden pupil things, comes over here, and now she stands on that, and this one has not yet been assigned, okay? I can gather books. Books over here, there are, I think, two times as many, 2 times as many as the player number over here, so there's 4 of each type, and you can buy up to 3. Each one costs 2 coins.
So you're only starting with 5, so that would be very expensive to buy now.
Exactly, exactly. Then the last thing that you can do as an action is to graduate a student. So for example, if during the turn I had been able to, during my turns, I'd been able to get a politician, I spent my coin to do that. I've got my politician teacher, I've got that, and I need 2 different things. So I graduate this student. In order to do that, always good to have a nice player sheet, a player aid, and it does have that, which is great. So the first thing that I do is I take the card off and I spend my thing. So I'm going to have 2 different books. Maybe I keep the politician one.
It's
just 2 that are different. So I'm going to do that. She comes off over here. I then get a graduation cap in my color. So even if I at a future time had graduated a purple meeple, I still get credit because she's standing on a graduation cap of my color. And then I go through. I gain a reputation. Okay, or 2 if I had graduated a hero, and that's another thing I could have drafted from. I could have taken one of the heroes, but you'll notice that they cost usually 3 or sometimes even 4 books.
They give you a benefit,
and then give you a benefit
every time.
That's a good point.
They're really, really good to have.
All right, and we are my personal graduation there. I move this now to an occupation slot that meets their requirements. Now, the politicians come over and, because this is orange, they come over and stand on the color that they're associated with. So what happens is I get, we'll talk about these in a minute, and I put that here. This now slides, okay, and I place this guy here. Is that right? Yeah. And now
you would be able to take from this column or this column, but
I
have to pay.
Yes, and now a new one comes in immediately. This one can be purchased for 2. I get a victory point. Okay, I get a victory point. And now I, and only I, could take this recruit her for free, whereas Shelley would have to pay to get that particular one. And I can only pay
if I somehow had access to them on the board, which we haven't gone over yet.
You're also then getting these bonus strips, and there are a bunch of 3 on each of the areas. The ones with the arrows are in-game, so this would mean for every graduated person I get in the donor class, I'm going to get a coin from now on. Shelley's got a few over there on her side too.
So this one's really good, but I couldn't get to that right away anyway. But this one's related to teachers, which would be pretty good for me, though I don't have any green people yet. But this one is graduating teachers and getting a coin for each one.
During the game, as soon as it happens, exactly.
And here would be a great one for me to get because I am trying to get
politicians. So
that would be really lovely for me. So I'm hoping to get that.
Yeah, and the ones with an X are end game scoring. So if you look at that, you could see that this would be graduating politicians. You're going to get a point for every one that you did at the end of the game.
If you get it all the way over here. And as you go over 2, you're going to get some victory points too. 2 and 3.
The other thing that happens whenever you do a graduation is that you are going to then move this little token. And if you can see on this board, this is labeled 1 player, 2 player, 3 player, 4 player, 5 or 6 players. So you do this little snake-like path. So in a 2-player, I would come all the way over here, and so we're going to go around like that. And one of the triggers for the game end is if this gets all the way over here. That would be a lot of graduations. But you can see that something happens on a lot of these spots. So the first one, for example, is an event, and we would turn over. Did I put these cards funny? I did put the cards funny. There are a few that are wrong side up. There we go. And so I turn over an event, and there's always something where people can benefit as long as this event is up. So this would be graduating teachers is going to give you a coin going forward until the new event card comes up. And then it says, the top card of the student piles are available for registration once per round per player. So now these cards, which wouldn't be coming in for a while, are available to register. And it doesn't say they cost anything. So, hey, big thumbs up on that one. So that would be the event that happens, okay? And so with each graduation, regardless of the type, politician, fighter, or patron, you are going to be moving this and be flipping an event card and so on.
And then if there's some bad thing that happens,
sometimes there's remove a book from here, so there's one fewer available, or everybody but the person who graduated loses a reputation or an endowment or a coin.
You see what's coming.
Yeah, you see what's coming, and you're trying to make sure that it doesn't happen to you, happens to other people. Along with all of that, okay, so the graduation. So we just did a politician graduation, which goes out over here. The teacher graduation, so say I had done a graduation and a teacher. Teachers go here, okay, and give you a book in the type that they did. And by the way, they then, so say I made this one into a teacher. This, we flip it over, and now she's going to be that politician teacher going forward. I don't even need this one anymore.
You'll never have to pay for her again.
And exactly. I would also get 2 victory points, okay? No, right then. Right then, when she flips over. And because I had used blue books to create her, or teach her, then I would get a blue book. And that would go into my area. So that's what happens when you do a teacher.
We also have this patron area. So when you're over here and you put a patron in here, this would match her, right? But she would have to have a teacher too, so we'll put a teacher under that.
Right.
But you can collect them in any order that you want. You know, teacher could be first or student could be first. Well, let's say that I did this, and I had
you had to have a green one there,
and I had to have my 2 blue books as well.
Two black books, or green is black.
Yeah, that's okay. Black books as well.
Yeah, that comes off.
Yeah, those come off.
You get your graduation going on,
and then I get to choose what I want to stand on to get a bonus. When you first start, you're in the first area.
As soon as you have at least 3 reputation and you've placed in the first area, then you can come to the second. Placed in these 2, and you have at least 5, then you can place in the third.
So mostly you're getting endowment or money, or you're getting books.
Or victory points.
You're getting victory points in almost all the spots.
The pyramid thing is victory points.
You can see there's better things as you go over.
Definitely.
But there is also, at the end of the game, majorities matter.
Yes.
So if you have the most in this area?
Most, not tied, but you are the single person with the most. You're going to get points for that.
You're going to get points for that. So you're definitely trying to do that too. For
sure. The last type of person whom you're graduating is you're graduating a warrior, okay? And to graduate a warrior, you are going to you're going to come out here and look at the island where that warrior would be. Actually, no, you could go anywhere.
Anywhere you have the right value.
Anywhere you have the right value, because here you're going to get involved in a battle. And so this is a war. You need at least a certain amount of reputation to be able to do that. So say I have, 2 reputation here, and I had been able to graduate and put that warrior out. I put that warrior out. I get then, this gives you some type of reward. In this case, I either get a book or a victory point. And I want to keep that. So say I got a victory point. I'd probably want a book. So I'm going to take that book. And then also, and this is key, I get to put a school in here. And I could place on either thing. You can have more than one school on a particular area. But say I did that. And then I have to take all of the meeples, the pupils, that are on one side there. So say I take these 2 and they go into my schoolyard now. And now I have to make sure that I get them educated. Because at the end of a round, if you have not been able to place your pupils onto a card into your school, in other words, they're an unassigned pupil, then you will lose a reputation point for each one that you did not place. Okay? And you then, after everybody's done all of their actions, going back and forth until you are done, you are going to look and see if you've achieved the milestone or how many victory points from that milestone. And then you go through and do a cleanup phase where you're putting out more cards. You're
putting different colored pupils into different regions,
you're putting people, well, the events sometimes will do that, right? So for example, you'll have an event like this, which says you want to take one from each spot, or better still, there's one where, here it is, this one's, there are a lot like this, where you look and you say, oh, you're going to take one from this spot and put it in the blue spot, or if, as there is none here, you are going to take from here and place a blue over in that area, and then here it is taking from here to put into pink, or to take from pink and put it into the green. All right. So that's the way you can have these cards out. And I should say these, you actually don't even put out the people until they are available, till somebody has gone onto the island. All right. So that's the way it works. You go through this 1, 2, 3 rounds. You're moving this along so the game could end prematurely if you've graduated a lot of people and you trigger that there. But what we found, at least with 2 players especially, we were getting through all 3 rounds, and then you would have your final scoring. That is Kartini from Darkness to Light. Okay, and so as we always do when we wrap up a video here, we ask, so what do you think of this one, honey?
I think it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's simple and straightforward enough.
It is. There is some fiddliness, I have to say that.
Yeah, for sure, with the moving of the people and stuff.
Exactly.
And we haven't really gone over some of these special cards, which give you powers throughout the game, which are very cool to have.
Right. The hero cards.
Yeah, they give you some
they
cool
maybe
things
it's for the rest of the game. Whenever you graduate a fighter, you gain one victory point in addition to whatever you're getting on the token that you put out. So there's a variety of different ones like that. Yeah.
And it's straightforward. You either buy a teacher or you have a teacher here. You can get your person first.
Get your pupils.
Get your pupil first. You can, you're trying to get the right. You can also buy pupils from other players if you're both in the same region.
Yeah. So right now, because we are in the same region, Shelley could purchase this blue or the orange ones here. As long as you have a school on the same island, then you can take from any island those 2 things. Right, exactly.
So that's important to know too.
Yes, good to know.
But some of these won't open for a bit.
Right.
But then they will once you put more schools and fighters over here.
Yes.
And sometimes you're having to just basing it on, how much reputation you have. So if you have a high reputation, you'll be taking this because the rewards will be better.
And if I had gotten this blue, for example, and blue students weren't available, I, of course, can take a hero and then use that blue meeple on that hero and do it that way instead. There's a lot of possibilities here. Yeah. It is, as Shelley said, fairly straightforward. And it's like different aspects of the same stuff as you go through with the various things here. Right. But what I love
you have a goal here.
Yeah, you've got your goal.
You don't have to do it.
Exactly.
Because you're going to get points for every student.
Right. Yeah, and you get points for the different colors of the students from the different islands, as well as the heroes. You get points for how far your reputation and your endowment is up. Right. You get points for having the best here, and then of course the scoring on the milestones as you go forward. It is a game. Oh, and I should say that as you pass, you get to choose where you want to go and the resources you get for the next round, and that determines turn order, right? I did say, it is a little fiddly. There's a lot of stuff that you want to think about, but the straightforwardness comes in that you have a clear tie of the theme
It really cool too.
Really, yeah, of course, the player aid is a really good thing too. So this is a game that I think slipped under everybody's radar, and really is a game that more people need to know about. And it came together really well, and I'm really very pleased that we got a chance to play it. And I really like this game. So that again is Kartini, From Darkness to Light, from Ion Game Design, designed by Sherria, Ayuandini, by Sherria, Ayuandini, and for 1 to 6 players, 60 to 120 minutes, because it's pretty involved here, and you got some interesting decisions going forward, but big thumbs up for us from this one. All right, guys, that'll do it for this week. Remember, you can head over to listen to our review on our audio podcast of this. So we're doing audio and video for as many games as we possibly can. And of course, make sure that you subscribe down below. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. And you can find out about the videos. We're doing a couple or 2 or 3 a week now. So we're having fun with this. We hope you are too. You can sponsor us at patreon.com/GarrettsGames. That always helps us out. And of course, you can head down to the show notes and check out the extensive list of games that no longer fit on our shelves, but belong on your table. We hope you guys are having a good end to your 2025 for that, which is, when we're recording this. And Happy New Year to everybody, depending upon when you hear this or watch this. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.